right? And today's masterclass, as you all know, it's focused on more generative AI, one of the most transformative, technology shaping industries today, right? So generative AI is redefining how organizations innovate and operate. So before we go with, I would like to know, it gives me a great pleasure to introduce our speaker for today's session. So Ms. Vani Surya Prakash, where she's one of most experienced uh, trainer and who have been motivated and resourceful for agile and life coach with experience about more than uh, 18 years of experience and executing static agile coaching and training support to more than 500 members. And she's also having a national and international accredited image consultant for soft skills training and NLP master practitioner. She also have a powerful TEDx speaker wherein she brings a rare blend of technical depth and a human-centric training methodology. With all this, she also holds an IC Agile accredited trainer with delivering training over 200 plus members and with an average rating of 4.8, which is a good rate to be frank. And coming with the uh, point, which is, she have trained organizations, individuals, and also educational institutions on various soft skill topics and which are more important towards their career growth. And we are excited to have you, Ms. Wani. We would be happy to, share the knowledge with you and the insights with us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashwin, for the introduction. Brilliant. Hello, all. Good day. I see people joining from different parts of the globe, so I would keep it as good day, whichever be the time zone that you're joining us from. And as always, I start with a gratitude note for people taking time off to come be here, and also for all the support system who's enabling you to be here wherever you are. And of course, my gratitude to my own family, my mentors, to upgrad for this opportunity. And wherever I stand today, it is all because of my mentors and my support system. So with that, we will get started. Hope the screen is also visible, Yashwant.
Yeah, we can hear.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. So what was your expectation when you came in for Gen AI for Scrum Masters? What was your expectation? Just feel free to put it on the chat box. Thank you, Avinash. What made you come here? Request you to use the chat window. Okay, Roland says curiosity, wonderful. Amit says to reduce your daily task. Okay, wonderful, Daniel. Okay, how to work smartly. Okay, use the tools to improve our daily Scrum with AI. Absolutely. Expand. Okay, adapt. Working efficiently to have new updates. Brilliant. Not to be left behind. I love that, Jonathan. To have new updates. Perfect. Wonderful. Wonderful. Keep going. Keep going. So we are all coming from the background of, say, Agile, and this session is all about the Scrum Masters, right? Of course, in terms of being very agile, I would say. And today's session or today's world where we are more equipped with AI, when you say that you want to be adaptable, you want to work smarter, you want to learn new tools, all this is all about being agile. And Gen AI tools enables you to be agile rather than just do agile. That would be my first 2 cents in terms of getting started with this webinar, right? And as a scrum master or as an agile coach, our intent is not just doing agile but being agile. And I'll also show a glimpse of how these Gen AI tools will make your lives better, and also to be agile rather than just do agile, in terms of shifting the needles as well. So today's journey, we will start with some AI reality check. I would like to hear from most of you. Yeah, of course, I will listen or see from you based on the chat box options. We will talk about tools beyond Jira. Of course, right now, most of the organization uses Jira, ADO, and stuff like that. So yes, definitely there are options. I will just slightly touch upon that. But beyond that, what else can you use as a Scrum Master? As few of you said, how to reduce your daily tasks and how to make it more efficient, effective, and also be smart. So I'll just introduce you to a couple of tools. I'm going to show a live demo rather than just showing PPTs. Not all the tools per se. And as I said, this is just a webinar. We have loads and loads of information that we cover as part of the sessions and as part of the series of sessions as well. So here today, I'm just going to give you a starter package. Uh, More for you to get introduced to Gen AI tools and see something different apart from what you see on Jira and ADO. How do we automate routine SM tasks and sprint analytics and insights? I'm going to talk about these aspects a bit. And also in terms of your retros and workflows, again, as I show you a demonstration on live tool, I'll also show you a couple of pointers. I'm not saying this is going to fit in every organization, but this is more a food for thought for you to go explore this tool as part of your organization. I've also done some exercises in the organizations and in the industry. I'll also give you that tool in terms of how do you bring in a new Gen AI tool as part of practice. So these are some elements that we will cover as part of today's webinar. Of course, Yashwant will have a few more pointers to bring in towards the end. So I'm going to just reserve some time for that aspect as well, and also keep it open for Q&As as well, so that it doesn't become a one-way conversation. Anyway, webinar, I'm not able to see you as well, so I don't want this to become a one-way conversation without having a Q&A session. Yeah. So with that, we will get started. Now, the reality check for Scrum Masters. What do you think is the biggest pain point? Okay, Rajeshwar Rao. Hope I'm audible. Others, please confirm if my voice is audible and clear. So, what aspect of Scrum Mastering do you think is the biggest challenge or the pain point? And where do you think you really, really need AI help and support? Just waiting for few options, answers, responses on the chat window. Okay, collaboration. Okay, wonderful, Megali. Operational work, people management. Okay, identifying dependencies and delays. Okay, dependencies and risk management, sprint prioritization. Of course, Amit, creation of report and predictability. And when there are different layers of stakeholders, right, there might be some elements that you have to go deep down. And for certain elements, you'll have to give it at a helicopter view. So, depending on your stakeholders, the reporting style, the reporting structure, content, everything changes for the same amount of information, for the same message to be conveyed. You put it in different formats and forms as well. Yes. Team workload, okay, optimizing processes, sprint retrospectives, brilliant. So all these are the places where we have mundane effort. Somebody today, when we started as part of the first ask, you said, how do I work smartly? How do I kind of make sure that my routine tasks are kind of automated? What's some couple of points? And these are some of the areas where you have these mundane tasks, which you can make it even more optimized, make it even more smarter. And today, what we have understood from the industry also is like after Gen AI tools are introduced in the industries, people feel like about 2 to 2.5 times the rate at which the work has been happening is faster. So, similar to what you said in terms of identifying risks and dependencies, sometimes it becomes a very, very bigger issue. Like you get onboarded as a Scrum Master in between, like say already like 5, 6 iterations done, or like one PI completed, whatever be the process that your organization follows. So you are somewhere in between, and you really don't get information from anybody with respect to, hey, what is this team even doing? What are good? What is the risk? What is the issue? And sometimes people don't have time to answer these questions because one is already they are swamped with so much. Number two, there is so much resistance. People are already tired because they are following this for the sake of following and they don't know where really this is heading to. So these are some of the common challenges. So amidst all these things, if they wanted to come and give you information in terms of because you're new, what are the risks, what are the issues, bringing you up to speed, people really don't have time. They're already exhausted. So if I have a buddy as part of the system who can tell me very transparently where we are, which will enable me to also focus, that is where these Gen AI tools are going to be very handy to identify risks, dependencies, issues, which will then enable you to bring in your human centricity to bring up in terms of, okay, now whom do I collaborate? Again, I think somebody did mention in terms of collaboration. Now, based on the risks and issues, I know where to go out, what to reach out to, what to ask, what to tell. So this becomes much more easier. And then it is not just feeling transactional, and I'm not feeling the heat of that frustration or resistance. So that is one of the biggest benefit, and that is how the speed in market also has increased with respect to embracing these Gen AI tools as a Scrum Master or as a coach. So AI tools beyond Jira, here I've quoted examples. We are not going to see all these things because it is humanly not possible for us to cover all these tools in just this 16-minute window where we are already 15 minutes into the session. So, as part of your Scrum ceremonies, when you're using your Zoom, when you're using Teams, today Microsoft Teams has multiple apps which you can enable or you can integrate, which will give you information in terms of the summary of what the call was all about. It'll beautifully give you a text in terms of, okay, what are the action items? And particularly, there is this app within Microsoft Teams called as Facilitator. When you go and enable that Facilitator app, it will kind of give you every call that you kind of join in and record, it will give you a summary. Now, the Zoom call that we do, again, there is an option where you can enable applications, and also there is an AI companion that comes with Zoom. So if you have a paid version of Zoom, and in your organization, if you use paid version of Zoom, of course, organization goes with a professional license, right? So there will be a paid version. So in every paid version, you will also see an AI companion. Towards the right-hand side corner, there will be this icon, the AI icon you will see, which will give you the complete summary of what is happening as part of this conversation. So when after the call is done, when you go into your um, Zoom account, you will be able to identify all the summary and the details. Now, in the organization, how would I get the account details, Vani? I only have my own details. That is where these apps becomes very handy, like Otter, Fireflies, which can be enabled within Zoom and integrated for you to get the summary of that entire conversation. And it will very much classify in terms of what action items or topics have been discussed, who's the owner of the action items. All these things will be very distinctly called out, and it is very presentable that you kind of take a copy paste and then you can beautifully send the MOM, which is going to take just few minutes rather than spending about 10-15 minutes taking notes throughout the conversation. All those hustle is not going to be there. Now, in terms of backlog and planning, there are again multiple tools apart from your Jira, apart from your Rovo agent within Jira, apart from your Atlassian intelligence inside Jira. You have multiple areas. Like again, if I have to call out in ADO, ADO also has multiple things like say you have clear specs, which will enable you to write the stories. You have elements, you have applications, or you have integration aspects, which will enable you to create subtasks for a specific story once it is created in ADO. You have a element which will enable you to write the test cases. So there are a lot of elements, but apart from that, apart from the normal tool that I use, Jira or an ADO, what else can I use for backlog and planning? Of course, Notion AI is one of the most wonderful tools that I've seen when compared to any other aspects. You can try all these things that are called out here. My personal choice, which I prefer to use, is going to be Notion AI. Today, I'll also show you in next few minutes how did I create with respect to the Scrum Master Gen AI webinar kind of topic, just to show you a sample of how I use in Notion AI and how did I just download and import all those things inside Jira in just one go, which usually will take hours together. It just took me 5 minutes or less than 5 minutes, not more than that. So this is about your backlog and planning. Now documentation, again, Confluence AI, there are a lot of options inside it. Now beyond that, what else can I use? You use Miro, you use various other tools in terms of doing documentation. Now inside my sprint reviews, if I'll have to do, how do I summarize? That also can become your tool that you can use. Again, Fireflies, Otter kind of gives you a very automated transcript, which will give you detailed information. So these are some of the aspects. Try using all these things. And most important aspect of all these, I would say, the first step is, um, yeah, keep bringing your questions. Yashwant, I would help you to just mark these questions. So when it comes to Q&A, I'll be able to take them one after the other. Is that okay?
Sure, we'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you, Ashwin. So the most important aspect, whatever be the role, even as a layman, even say as a homemaker or as a new person or as a student, if I'll have to use my tools, my LLM tools like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini, the fundamental element or the uh, muscle that I'll have to build is prompting. The more refined my prompts are, the more better my prompts are, the better outcome I'm going to get. If my prompts are very vague, the response to my prompts are also going to be very vague. It's very simple, like garbage in, garbage out. So what you feed in, it is going to throw a response according to it. So if you're feeding in the right amount of information, it will also give you the right amount of information. So the most important or the fundamentals as a individual, I would not even say Scrum Master, as an individual, any human being who wants to use today any AI aspects, the first fundamental thing that you will have to master is prompting. And again, you don't really have to learn so many things as part of the session when we take the full course of the Gen AI tools for Scrum Masters. We also teach you how do you prompt, what are the different types of prompting, what is the difference between this prompt versus another prompt. And also you can use LLM tools to create your own prompts as well. You don't have to sit and memorize any of these things. That is how ChatGPT is, your Claude, your Gemini has made it so helpful, where you can use them to create your own better prompts. So ask them to create. And one of the biggest beliefs and myths I would say is AI is not there to replace you. How you will get replaced is a person or a scrum master who is using AI versus a person who is not using AI. If you are in control of the tool, yes, the tool will become your subordinate. If you're not doing that, if you're not taking charge of it today, and today I appreciate every one of you because most of you said that you have come here to expand your knowledge, learn, understand how to use these tools, make it more smarter. So in that case, we are already there in your stages. You're there in the learning curve. So now you are already there in charge of taking control of this tool rather than allowing the tool to take control of you. So that way, your prompts are the first fundamental steps that you will have to learn through. You can have different types of prompts like zero shot prompts, one shot prompts. I can do tree prompting. I can do role based prompting. And for prompting itself, I can give you multiple acronyms based on which you can build. So CRISP is one such, where you talk about the context, where you talk about the role, where you talk about the input, where you talk about how it has to be specific, how the output has to be, whether it has to be in a tabular form, whether it has to be in bulleted aspects, whether it has to be in a paragraph, what font should I use? I can give all the details. And P is the purpose. What is the ultimate purpose? Why I'm using this prompt? What I would like to create? What is the true purpose of it? So if you're writing your prompt using these aspects, you're sorted. So this is also one easiest way to write a prompt. So try to explore prompting. That will be the fundamentals that you will have to develop and then start exploring various other tools as well. Now, before AI versus after AI, this is how life looks like. Most of the manual, redundant work, mundane tasks are being automated. So try to use that. Again, going back to Jira, how many of us have tried exploring the automation aspects in Jira? So when you go into automation today, you don't really have to sit and change the status of the story or the parent like an epic or a feature. You can create an automation using just robo agents, using just the automation workflow templates, where whenever the child inside that particular work item gets completed, automatically the story or the epic or the feature also gets completed. You don't have to go and manually do it. Moment any task or any child gets status updated from new to in progress, automatically the parent status also should move to in progress. So all these things you can automate using the automate workflow. There are templates. You don't have to sit and write similar to how we used to do earlier. So these are some of the elements where the before and after AI has made our lives much more easier and much more smarter. So I'll stop here to show some live examples and scenarios using tools rather than just going through, because there is no point, right? In terms of you showing another PPT for you for a Gen AI tool session. So let's see some live scenarios. I'll bring up few things. So today, Miro also has got various options. I am showing Mural. So in Mural, you can conduct retrospections. So initially, when I asked, some people have said in terms of using it for retrospections, you wanted to see in terms of how do you reduce the or challenges faced in terms of conducting retrospections. Now, again, as Ashwant was talking about my introduction, being an ICP accredited trainer, when I do agile coaching training and enterprise coaching training, the biggest question that people ask is, Vani, when I conduct retrospections, people wanted to be anonymous. They don't want to know who has entered what. And in Atlassian or any other places, if you're starting to use, it will always show who is typing. So there will be a top tagline with their initials which show who is typing. Even Mural and Miro also had that. In Mural, now what can happen is when I am going to go and conduct a retro, let me start from the basics itself. So I have created this draft retro. I have used the template of a retrospection. So it says what went well, what didn't go well. So inside this, the moment I'll have to conduct the retrospection, I can share this link. Now I will share this link here. You can try this out as well. You can join in just as a visitor. You don't have to have a login. You don't have to create a sign up. Just join as a visitor. Now, once you come inside this particular page, what will happen is I'll start seeing who all have joined. I'll see a couple of people's icon joining in. And if you start typing, it will also show. Right now, I'm typing. So if you join in, it is not just on the screen. You will see it on your version as well, in your local as well. You will see as part of the page. Now, the moment I go into facilitate, there is an option called as private mode. I click on private mode and then it will say no keep authors of this content anonymous, or should I show when the session ends. I always keep it as no keep authors of this content anonymous and I start. So it will get started in private mode. So what will happen is if any other participant is trying to enter some details, I will not be able to see those information. Nobody will get to see until and unless I end this private mode. So this way, the conversation becomes much more open in organizations where you find it difficult for people to open up and talk about it. Number one. Number two, today, many organizations have this culture of remote and also you are distributed as well. So in that aspect also, this becomes much more helpful for you to conduct the retrospections in a very private mode so that the cultural aspects, the way it is being articulated, nothing impacts in terms of who has said what, and people stick to the objectivity of it rather than going into the subjective aspect of it. The moment I end the private mode, what will happen is it will show me all the details. So this was one thing which I was doing it just for fun when I wanted to show this to my daughter. Me and my partner were trying to show her. So we were giving her the differences in terms of various aspects. So these were the pointers that we have added. No, this is something that we got from AI, which I'm going to show you short while. Wonderful. Thank you, Yashwant. So these were the pointers that we added. We didn't know who added what. It was in private mode. So I added, my partner also added. Till we finished the ended the private mode, we were not able to see the collective information. So these were the pointers that were added. on each of this. And then what we did was we kind of chose each and every item. Something is missing. And then there is an option here called as Mural AI. You click on that icon, it'll ask you what it wants to do. I'll say summarize. It will beautifully summarize me the complete content from each of the sticky notes. Again, as a Scrum Master, this is one of the biggest pain points, right? When I conduct or when I facilitate a retrospection or a brainstorming exercise or a problem solving workshop, so many inputs comes in. So I don't even really get to understand how to categorize them, and I have to spend hours together to categorize it or minutes together to categorize it. Now this will beautifully give me a summary. Now either you accept it or you ask AI to refine it. It'll just take matter of few seconds to get it refined. And then I'll say, okay, accept. Then I go into the AI and now I'll say cluster by topic. So it will cluster by topic, the one which I deleted as I was showing you. So it will kind of show me once I choose here, it has not chosen. So that's where it is saying, hey, for clustering, you will have to choose the topics in which it has to. So now I have chosen the sticky notes and then I click on cluster by topic. So it will cluster under planning and tracking and accountability and motivation. Yes, Amit. If you want, you can go ahead and take the summary of it to share the summary in terms of what came out of the retrospection. Rather than telling he did, he has said this, she has said this, this will give you an objective summary. So in that way, people stick to the objective aspect of it rather than going into the blame game or the subjectivity. So I am now categorizing this. So when I categorize this, this will help me understand, okay, where is that problem statement? Which area should I focus right now? What should I prioritize to pick up? Because there might be 10 different things which the team has to develop or improve over a period of time. But do I sit and do this? Then one entire sprint, I'll be only focusing on improvements. So instead, if I'll have to pick the top two priorities, I can go for voting system. Before going into voting system, now I categorize. Now people will see, hey, where are the most challenging aspects? Where are the most improvement areas coming from? Then now when they go and vote, we are mentally preparing them to go and vote for something where there is a lot of elements that has to be focused right now, rather than just because, oh, Vani, I have given this pointer, so let me go and vote for this. Oh, Amit has been interactive right from the beginning. So whatever pointer he has given, let me go and put vote for that particular point. Instead of that bias, I will start understanding where we will have to focus and then we will start getting into those. Not a prompt, Arpit. It was the internal AI aspect that is given. So here is an option called as cluster by topic. So either I accept or I discard. So you can start chatting on all these information and then you can come up. Now based on whatever you have chosen, if you want, you can generate ideas. Okay, now how do I this into action? Can you suggest some ideas? Then it will come up with an idea. From here, again, you can group them. You can ask them to vote. You can ask them, okay, now what do we do about it? Is there anything better we can go about it? So in this way, you will get an unbiased action and also you will be able to implement smaller incremental versions, right? So this is one way of using one of the GenAI tools for your retrospections, for conducting retrospections. Again, Mural is not just for retrospections, right? I can use this for doing some brainstorming exercises as well. Say, this is something like when as a group, as an organization, if you have Agile Center of Excellence or you have a coffee connect with a group of Scrum Masters where you generally share knowledges, you can also conduct a brainstorming exercise to see, hey, today, how can Gen AI help us? What challenges are we facing today? Will Gen AI help us to alleviate this particular challenge or pain? Now, if this has to happen, whom do we approach to get the Gen AI tool implemented? Because you are not the decision making authorities to onboard a Gen AI tool inside your organization. So you have a proper channel. There is a compliance team which sits and ratifies each and every single Gen AI tool to talk about the security concerns, data issues, aspects, leakages, and then they make a choice in terms of, okay, is there something better in the market? Should we go with this? What are the competitors do we have? What is the better pricing, costing? So they do a lot of analysis and then they come to you. So now even for them to think about a specific tool as a group of Scrum Masters as part of your Coffee Connects or as part of your Agile Center of Excellence discussions. You can use an exercise just to do a brainstorming. So right now I have put couple of pointers, right? One is data privacy concerns. Why organization doesn't want to invest in Gen AI tools for conducting your retrospections or doing backlog review or planning is because of data privacy concerns. What if my sensitive information, client information goes out? Creating sprint review summaries is one challenges that people have got. Now here also many people have put that. Um, I want AI to help me in drafting stakeholder updates. So like this, I have put couple of pointers. Now what I will do is I will just choose all these things because I can't take each and every sticky note and go to my senior leaders. I'll have to build a story around it. So what do? I take this, I go in terms of first I'll create a diagram. Now, when I have to create a diagram, it will give me options. What do you want? You want a flow chart, whether it has to be horizontal, vertical, or what do you want? So I am saying create a mind map for this. And then when I say create a mind map, it'll ask me then in terms of your brainstorming ideas. So you choose those options, then it will start creating the mind map. I have not done anything except giving that particular, choosing that option and choosing the right information there. That's it. I did not even do a prompt there. Now, based on this, I'll be able to bring up a beautiful story. And if I'll have to present a deck to my senior management, say Agile Center of Excellence head or to Agile coaches, I will use this as an image. I'll paste it as part of my presentation and then I'll show it. So the time I'm investing is going to be my usual coffee connects to pool in information in terms of what challenges do we have in different parts of our organization for the Scrum Masters and what are the thought process with respect to Gen AI tools being used. So I collect information from a 360-degree perspective. And instead of me sitting and reading through, say, 10 or a 50 or a 100 sticky note that has come in, instead, I kind of use this beautifully to summarize it. Now, for the same set of information, now I'll have to categorize this again. So I'll choose each of these. And then I'll go back and then I'll say, hey, can you cluster this by topic? What are the different topics that has come up? So majorly it is AI assisted agile or product workflow, and then there is one related with the process. Okay. So like this, you will be able to bring in all these elements in terms of, hey, how long I'll have to sit and work versus making effective usage at the same time, giving a beautiful story because most of them in corporate, what they say, I am not liking to create PPTs. Whatever PPTs I create, my manager always asks me to change the color, change the font style, change the bullet points. So instead, you can use all these tools to give you a beautiful summary and give the right amount of information, which will help and enable people to make the right decision. So now I showed you this one tool in which you can use it for brainstorming. Again, Mural and Jira or Atlassian has an option to integrate each other as well. We are not going to see that as part of the webinar. So you can start exploring that. You can get to know about this as part of the sessions as well when we take in future. And then I told you, right, I created this backlog in Jira. How long do you think it would take for me to create so many stories if I had to do it manually? I've created close to about 70 items. When I say 70 items, not just stories, I have created epics. I have tagged the epics as well to the stories. I have created sprints. I have mapped them to the sprints. How long do you think would take if I had to create this? Okay, Sanjukta says 2 days. Amit says 1 day. Okay. Okay, more than 5 to 8 hours. Okay. 1 day, hours and hours. Rahim says absolutely. Because I'll have to know what information I should add as well, right? So this is going to really take at least, even if I am a super fast worker, it'll take at least half a day to three-fourth day for me to create at least this volume of information. Now, what did I do? I did not create any of this manually and all was just a button click. How did I do it? Go into your Notion AI. This is the Notion AI, which is notion.so is the website. So all I did was I first created a project. And this project, I named it as AI powered Scrum Master webinar. And how do I create? You have multiple templates from which you can pick. I picked up the template of a project. So automatically it will give me about, etc., etc. But instead of that, what did I do? I went into this Ask AI. You will see towards the right hand corner of the Notion.so once you log in. And when you choose a template, you will see this face icon, which is called as personalized. That will be there on the right hand side corner. Click on that and then you will get this page. So I said, create a complete Notion project page for a 60-minute live webinar titled AI Powered Scrum Master, designed for practicing Scrum Masters who want to integrate AI tools into their daily agile workflows. And then I said, structure the page with the following sections. So I gave these details. So this prompt I have to give. So I created all these things, whatever I wanted. Under each section, what do I want also is something that I've given. And once I have given this, I'll answer to that, Avinash. So once I do that, then what will happen? It creates me the complete setup. It'll ask me, okay, are we good to add? And then once I accept, once I say show changes, it will start showing my changes here as part of this page. I said, now create a backlog for me for this. It created a backlog. And I said, when it created a backlog, I said, I wanted it in a tabular view. And these are the elements that I would need. So it started creating in all these fashion. Now, if you go and say, no, give this in the checklist format, it can give you in the checklist format as well. So it depends on what you want, and then it will give you these information. Now, once I got this, if it is a paid version, again, between Notion AI and Jira, I can do the linkage. I can integrate Notion AI and, yes, Shaliza. I can integrate it and then I can directly pull in. If I don't have the paid version also, like for you now that you're trying locally in your personal laptops for your personal knowledge, even then, if you don't have a paid version, all you can do is take a dump of this particular backlog, get this in a downloadable format or put it in an Excel, save it as a CSV, go to your Jira and do a bulk import. Very simple. You will be able to get it done within few minutes. It is not going to take more than 5 minutes to get this fancy backlog built. Number one. Now to answer a couple of questions that are come here, like Avinash has asked, we are exposing our project details. So Avinash, let's remember one thing, right? All these free versions, you can doubt about all these aspects, but when it comes to your professional license, which your organizations will get, always there is a legal component that is being signed between both the parties where the data security aspects is taken care of. And that is what your compliance team, who is every organization today have a compliance team specifically working on the AI tools. They kind of go through that, compare it against the competitive tools, and then only they make a decision to go ahead with a certain tool. So that is all taken care as part of the initial data security signing and compliance aspect itself. And whatever gets onboarded is highly secure, where no information can be used for common learning purpose. Nowhere it gets stored outside your organization. Got it? Sanjukta, again, in terms of ADO, there are options where you have marketplace from which you will have to purchase and then you will have to get it. There is an option for you to get that done. But if you don't have such options enabled, that is where it becomes a challenge. Yes, Claude also supports it. And today, Claude, from where it was a couple of years back versus today, even without you purchasing the co-work option that is recently becoming a pep talk in most of the places, even without that co-work, Claude does wonders. So yes, Claude is also very supportive. I can create the entire backlog, risk, dependency charter, everything using Claude itself. You can use even the Gemini gem to kind of create it. I can go ahead and create multiple gems, personal gems when I'm using Gemini, and then I will be able to train them in terms of what exactly do I need. So I don't have to keep inputting them every single time. Uh, are you asking about the gems, Avinash? In free version, Sanjukta, definitely not possible. At least I have not seen it. Claude AI, is it? Okay, sure. Let me bring up Claude. Because that was not part of my initial plan, but just to give you a glimpse. So there are multiple options. As I said, don't see Jira only from this perspective. Start exploring these aspects as well. So you're able to write those case studies and then you're able to present it to your senior management for them to think through and then see if this is going to help the mass and then they'll be able to make the right kind of purchases. Yeah. Uh, just trying to open my Claude. Allow me some time. Oh, yes, definitely, Avinash. As part of the full-blown Gen AI session that we do, again, it depends on each one of the trainers as well. At least I make sure that I cover Claude aspect separately, and I give you activities with respect to Claude versus GPT versus Gemini. Yeah. So just to quickly show for what Avinash had asked, hope this helps others as well. Sharing. Perfect. Mm. Okay, so Claude, now I have just given a very basic random elements in terms of where I wanted to do a SWOT for the Agile Launchpad transformation. Like I've given a background in terms of a mid-sized software team recently transitioned from traditional waterfall to Agile. So these are the elements. The release was successful, and I wanted to conduct some retrospective findings based on that, what the management has asked, and all these details are provided. Then we have asked that to create the basic aspects. So it has done a SWOT analysis and then it has also started giving. Now, the, it also gives when Claude, when it gives you in a very uh, representable format. It gives you a HTML. If you want in a PPT, you can ask for it. So it will give you in the PPT format as well. So it will give you the strengths, weakness, opportunities, threats, based on the information that you've provided. It's not going to give a very generic statement, right? Because that is where your prompting matters. So I've given the prompt and accordingly it has given me the respective SWOT and then the details of it. It also gives me some recommendations based on what I'll have to do the based on the SWOT findings. So this is one example that you can use Claude in multiple ways. You give your sprint details, right? You ask for Claude, you ask for Gemini, you ask ChatGPT to summarize the sprint report. So based on the inputs you have given, committed, actuals, time taken, number of bugs that has come in, how many spillovers. So it will kind of categorize and give you multiple information and insights on each of this. Whether this is becoming a risk for you in terms of going live on so and so date, or whether this is going to cause any delays, or are we there on right track. So this can give you so much information. Again, as I was responding back to Avinash, this If you're having a very professional version that has been launched as part of your organization, none of this information is going to be leaked. It will stay within only your respective projects and organization. How now Atlassian you're using? Your project details, not even the nearest project within your own company can see. Similar to that, these data are also safe and secure, right? So these are some of the things that you can use for repetitive tasks. Don't spend time together to get the insights for your reports, for your Jira, for your sprint reports. Even if you have many organizations have enabled Copilot, Copilot also can be used to summarize the sprint report activities based on the inputs that you share. So try to use that. Similar to Notion AI, there are other tools as well specifically to create images. Use Napkin to create images. Again, when you're getting onboarded for the full-blown session, we will go through each of these tools. We will give you multiple versions apart from just talking about Jira and ADO, and we will enable you to see, okay, what are the different tools that are there in market. So you can find what best suits your organization, what best suits your team, so that you can go and start talking and exploring that further. With that, I'll take a pause and will be happy to take any questions, couple of questions. And I think, Yashwant, you have some more pointers to discuss as well. Uh, Amyan, I would be very happy to do that, but on the interest of time, I'm just being skeptical, so don't mistake me. Yes, subscription you can take for Notion AI. That is absolutely possible. With free version, you can start trying few things because if you want to present it in your market or in your industry, you need some cases. So try to build something of your own using Notion AI and then try to bring in the details. Framing queries in ADO. Uh, in Jira, we have. In ADO, we'll have to explore. I'll let you know if there is a specific tool for query creation. In Jira, you have the Atlassian intelligence itself. AI is an option. What AI refers in Jira is Atlassian intelligence. So you just give us basic English prompt, it will give you the query directly. Single tools to handle most of the things than on using multiple tools. Um, this varies from person to person, right? Because I personally prefer for each of those I have different. Now, Claude gives you a beautiful PPT, by the way. But if I'll have to generate PPT for my sessions, right, outside what I do as part of upGrad or anywhere else, I personally prefer doing it in Gamma. There is one more app called as Gamma. So similar to that, you will find what is working better for you. When I have to create images or summary from a specific discussion, and I wanted to put it in a very representable format because I wanted to present it for stakeholders, I wanted an image. I don't go spend time in Gamma or anywhere else. Instead, I use Napkin AI. So like that, you explore multiple things, then you will know which is becoming better suitable for what. How can you integrate AI agents for daily tasks? Uh, Amit, this is something that we will be discussing as part of the full-blown session as well. So, say for example, from Jira to this mural that we just saw, we can also show you live demonstration in terms of how do you connect and use it. From Jira to this Otter.ai that we just saw. So we will be able to do all those things as part of the full-blown session. Are you going to conduct certification training on AI? Yeah, I think Yashwant or our knowledge at upgrad, Spock also will be able to answer to you that. Uh, to put it in a nutshell, yes, we will be conducting. We'll be talking about the AI courses we have after. Thank you. Uh, is Tiago.ai IO suitable to be managed Scrum projects? I'll have to check this. I have not personally used this Tiago.io. Let me use that and then let you know what is the difference and how better it is when compared to other things. Yeah. So if you're joining for the full-blown session, I'll definitely make sure that this is getting answered. Uh, I'm just making a note of that. Tiaga.io. Tiaga.io. What is it? Tiaga.io. Let me check that, and yeah, we'll make sure that we answer to this when during the full blown session. Can I integrate Notion AI with Zoho Sprint? I'll have to check that. Notion AI has a lot of other options. Like as I said, you can connect with Slack, you can connect with Jira, you can connect with ADO, but Zoho Sprint, I'm not sure. What is the duration of the full-blown session? I think Yashwant or someone will be able to answer that. For meetings of minutes when your org does not allow sound recording for Teams calls. Um, as I said, this facilitator app kind of helps you give a beautiful summary in Teams, Microsoft Teams. So that is one app that you can try for sure. Yeah, and again, that depends how your organization has kept the team settings and the marketplace. If they are enabling that app, yeah, nothing like it. This Otter AI and Fireflies AI also is something that you can integrate it in Microsoft Teams. So that is also possible, which will give you the minutes of meetings. Provided, again, as I said, the organization has to. How to do this? Yeah, I answered this. I think we'll have to try that out. Absolutely, Kendrick. Nothing like Robo Agent. Robo Agent also allows you to create your own customized agents as well. So feel free to use that, use the inbuilt agents, and also create your own custom agents, and it'll be your lifesaver for.
Much money for insight about the generative AI course. It was very helpful, and it was more of sharing your valuable perspective about AI. Thank you. You're welcome, Vani. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.